Firstly, I would like to invite Mr. Bojan Suvorov from the Government Office of Slovenia for Development European Cohesion Policy to say a few welcoming words. Bojan, please.
Yeah, Simona, thank you for this introduction. So it's me again. Well, at the beginning, I have to apologize our State Secretary. She really wanted to join us, but there are some urgent meetings linked to the Slovenian reform program. The preparation of the program is in its final phase, and Monica, so our State Secretary, has to be there. Therefore, allow me to give all of you a warm regards in her name. The State Secretary specially asked me to stress the importance of such events where representatives of the Commission, JRC, national bodies and all stakeholders can exchange their views and experiences, ask questions, reply to them, and simply form a network for future collaboration. Here I have to add that the interest to be with us on this event exceeded all expectations. And we are of course pleased to see it, but it's also a huge obligation to match it next time. Unfortunately, I was not able to be with you the whole day yesterday, but information I'm getting from Gorazd and the other participants are favorable, even more, some of them extremely positive. This confirms my yesterday's words that we need to talk and learn from each other. And since I'm more on a learning than on teaching side, I will stop now. And I wish all of us another successful day. Thank you.
Thank you, Bojan. So next I would like to invite Mrs. Andreea Jelina, National Coordinator, EUSAIR Presidency, Republic of Slovenia, Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Good morning, everybody. Me again, as Bojan again, meaning that we need to repeat from time to time to move forward. And I was with all of you yesterday the whole day. So I can more than confirm what Bojan actually said, that what we heard yesterday really exceeded all our expectations. Because yesterday was a full day of content, full day of ideas, full day of ready-made things. So by listening to yesterday, we are extremely encouraged and very optimistic for today's day, which we definitely find it as the right place and time for, as it says in the objective of this meeting, to boost and kick off cross-cutting collaboration and mutual learning among different stakeholders. This is all about. So we are really looking forward for today, for concrete opportunities, and we are looking forward also for the conclusions of this day, hoping, as I mentioned yesterday, that this will be the turning point in our future collaboration. Thank you, and I wish all of us a successful day.
And now I would like to invite Mrs. Isabel Villalon, Deputy Head of Unit A3 Sea Basin Strategies, Maritime Regional Cooperation and Maritime Security from European Commission, DG Mare, to say a few opening words as well.
Good morning, everybody. I hope you can hear me well.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. And thank you very much to the Slovenian presidency and to the facility point for this for the organization of this workshop today. I would like really to thank you for this, and not only because it's great to have a full day dedicated to a discussion on smart specialization and blue economy, but also I think it's very timely also to have this reflection on how we can push for research and innovation. I mean, over the last few months, we have been all very busy with the COVID crisis, the impact, looking at emergency measures, and I know that many SMEs and governments are struggling with the consequence of the crisis, including on the blue economy sectors. But this being said, I think it's very important that we continue to look forward and to anticipate the recovery, and to think about how research and innovation will contribute to that. And this will be very important. So, so I think it's important to take time, even in this context, to look at that, especially to look at how we can strengthen research and innovation in the region of EUSAIR. Especially also because, I mean, I think the workshop is also timely because we know that all the different national and regional authorities are working on the programming for the exercise or for the programs 2021-2027, and also they may start in certain cases the update of their smart specialization strategy. So whole this context, I think, is explain. I mean, why. I mean, this. I hope that this workshop will be very successful, and I'm glad to hear that yesterday you had a very good discussion among the whole participants. I'm sure that today it will be the case also, because there are so much to learn from each other to prepare the future. For us, I mean, clearly in the Commission at the moment, I mean, you may have seen last week the Commission adopted guidelines on how to mobilize the resilience and recovery funds that are under finalization at the Council level now. And clearly, the priority of the Commission is really to look at the recovery and push for sustainability. I mean, a very important part of the funds that will be made available under the recovery funds shall be allocated, for example, to the objective to reduce carbon emission in the future. And for example, if we just mention this target, for example, clearly we know that blue economy can contribute. I mean, especially through the marine renewable energies that offer a great potential to produce clean energy. But this, for example, this sector is still struggling to be competitive, and we need still to invest in research and innovation to make sure that we find the right technologies to make this potential available for the coastal communities, including, for example, islands that could very much benefit from this. So just it's one example among others, but I think clearly the same goes for blow technology. I mean, there are opportunities for developing new value chain that can contribute to a sustainable recovery in the future. So that's why I think it's very important to look at that and not only to emergency measures to support traditional sector. I mean, we have to look at what could be the future and how we could make use of the blue economy to support a more resilient and more sustainable future. So that's it. And I think what is great to see is that in EUSAIR, I mean, a lot of things have been done already over the last few years. I mean, I think that the countries member of EUSAIR have worked together to jointly assess the common challenges and to identify flagships, for example, in the context of the Pillar 1 of EUSAIR. I mean, all this has been transmitted to the national authorities, to the regional authorities, to the EU, and now the issue is how to mobilize all the different funding that will be available in the coming months to support those flagships and to support the priorities that have been identified by you. And in that context, I think it's also very, very positive to see that the Adrian Interreg project has decided to launch a new project on blue air for smart specialization strategy on blue growth. I mean, this is also a very useful tool to support the discussion you will have on smart specialization. On our side, for example, in DG Mare, we are considering organizing with GRC in early 2021 a specific workshop where we would like to invite managing authorities in whole Europe to discuss their smart specialization strategy so that we can share lessons learned and see how we could support the regions in the exercise of updating their smart specialization, especially when they have a focus on blue economy. So this is something we would like to do together with all the regions. and hopefully this will take place in the first quarter of 2021. Just a last word from me, because it's also just to mention something that was launched last week and that may interest many of the participants today. I mean, the Commission launched last week the European Green Deal call. So it was done by our colleagues from the DG Research and Development. It's a 1 billion call addressing the main priorities of the Green Deal. Okay, it's more research and development, but still, I think as many of the participants today are also from the research community, I think it's important that to flag this opportunity. I'm sure that there will be other opportunities in the future to support also research and innovation in the EU. So that's it for me today. It's already maybe too long for an introduction speech. But really, I think it's very interesting to have this discussion today and see how from there we can further work with you and EUSAIR to support innovation in the blue economy.
Thank you so much. So let's go briefly through the agenda for today, and then I will do a short recap of yesterday, and after that we start with concrete presentations. So first we will present the EUSAIR Facility Point project. After that there will be a Blue Growth as pillar of EUSAIR presentation. Then the transition from EUSAIR to Blue Air project will be presented, and after that we have seven best practices related to Blue Growth that will be presented. We have a virtual break between 12:10 and 12:30. So depending on how long the presentations take, we will either move it a little bit or reconvene and continue with presentations. As far as yesterday, the main words that I got and the main conclusions was the need for collaboration, for internationalization, for creation of big scale value chains connecting different regions. To do that, it was often stressed how important the entrepreneurial discovery process is, and even more so that process should not be just done in our own regions, but it should be a broader connected effort to enable collaboration. Also, what is very important, that through such events as this one, which was the first one, and we hope there's going to be many more, it will allow the regions or enable the regions to align policies, to connect policies, and also maybe at some point, hopefully, have joint projects that will also capitalize on existing, let's say, interregional or even national projects, and will allow these projects to be, the results of these projects to be brought into the policies. So that is my very brief conclusion, and I would like to give the word now to Stasha. So Stasha Mesec is a representative of Slovenian Government Office for Developing the European Cohesion Policy and a representative of the lead partner of EUSAIR Facility Point. Sasha, the floor is yours. We just need to move a little closer so we could see you.
Hello and good morning. Also in the name of Facility Point Partnership. This is a partnership of partners from all, not all, but 8 EUSAIR countries. We are co-hosting this meeting together with our Smart Specialization Strategy Department in Slovenia, and we're very happy to be this co-host. But who are we? What are we doing? Who are the faces behind the strategy that we are supporting? I will be very brief, but to put us all in the common denominator, I think it's important, because maybe you are not familiar with how the strategy actually functions. So we have the governing board with the national coordinators from 2 per country, 1 from EU department and 1 from Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And in the governing board, there are also other relevant institutions at the European level. They meet twice a year, and they're there to give direction to the strategy. Then we have thematic steering group members, or so-called pillar members. And each country is represented by minimum of one expert in this respect, usually an expert from relevant ministry. The thematic steering group members are led by a tandem of pillar coordinators, one from member states and one from IPA countries, non-member states. And the function of these pillar representatives are to screen the needs of the macro region and develop the actions or processes needed, and also to develop flagships of the region. And then it's the facility point who is supporting this machine. And our function is to give the support to the governance, to pillars in project development, to organize financial dialogues, to monitor evaluation, to do the communication. We also develop the stakeholder platform. And what is very important to stress here, we function on the national level, but also on the macro-regional level. So as mentioned, 4 thematic pillars are the blue growth connecting the region, environmental quality and sustainable tourism. Each of the pillars are coordinated and supported by a tandem of countries that are supporting them, like Greece and Montenegro for blue growth. Slovenia is in charge of pillar 3, environment, quality, and so on. So EUSAIR, with the support of Facility Point, aims to become a platform to bring together various sectors, policies, and financial resources. We are there to build a new pragmatic approaches to find out more efficient policy modalities, better coordination among existing institutions and resources. And we are also multi-level governance supporter, or how to say, pushers. Our privilege, as mentioned, we have partners in each EUSAIR state, except North Macedonia. We have the stakeholder platform where we can meet, and we are one-stop shop for the EUSAIR in terms of communication. So we have the webpage, the social channels, the newsletters, main link list with more than 4,000 subscribers. We have good daily connections with the macro-regional representative at the national level, so the national coordinators, the pillar coordinators, the TSG members. With the European Commission in this respect, and of course we also support the EUSAIR presidency and connect with and learn, share experience with other macro-regional strategies. Maybe just some results that not just the project, but the whole team, the faces behind the strategies produced in this unpredicted year. We have endorsed the flagships per pillar, so we have consensus of all 9 countries for all pillars in terms of flagship projects. I would not go in the details. Probably you will hear about the Blue Growth flagships in the next presentation, but there is a link in the agenda. If you click, those flagships will open and you can see the details. We have endorsed common vision and mission. And yes, also in this time, we continually supporting the pillar coordinators and all the members of the strategy with the online meetings and further collaboration. And also, we are proud that we also have first macro-regional projects developed, and we are now searching for relevant financial sources. I will stop here. I thank you for your attention, and looking forward to hear the presentations of what all is going on in the region, and hope for future collaboration. Thank you.
Thank you, Sasha. Is there maybe, considering today we're going through best cases and projects, is there maybe a question from anyone? You could post them on chat box at any point, or if someone would like to comment, you are welcome to turn on your microphone, or if there's a question that comes to you later on, just post a comment or a question in the chat box. So any questions maybe? No? Okay. So the next presentation is from Mr. Alexander Joksimovic. He comes from Institute of Marine Biology in Kotor, Montenegro. And firstly, he will present the blue growth as a pillar of EUSAIR, a state-of-the-art and future perspectives. But then he will also join us later on for another presentation. Mr. Joksimovic, are you with us?
Good morning. How are you, everybody?
Very good.
Okay, greetings for rainy Kotor.
Sunny Slovenia today.
Okay.
Please, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you. Good morning to everybody. I now on behalf of my dear colleague Slavica Pavlovic, who is not possible to be here, I try to present one very nice and very important topic for us. This is EUSAIR Pillar 1, Blue Growth, and I touch some operational program European Commission for 21-27. Normally,
Mr. Joksimovic.
Yes.
Mr. Joksimovic, can you maybe just raise your volume a little bit because you're a little distant.
Okay. You hear me good? No.
So. We can hear you. You're just a little distant, so that's all.
Okay. Now it's better.
Yes, it's better.
Okay. Okay. I repeat. On behalf of my dear colleague Slavica Pavlovic, who is the coordinator of EUSAIR Pillar 1, Blue Growth, she apologized because it's not possible to be today with us. I will try to present some presentation regarding to Blue Growth Pillar 1. You see my presentation in the screen?
Yes, we see it.
Okay. Priority 1 for Blue Growth technology is flagship 1. This is forestry quadruplet helix ties in the fields of marine technologies and the blue technologies for advancing innovation, business development, and business adaptation in the bioeconomy. Priority 2, this is fishery and aquaculture. Flagship promoting sustainable diversification and competitiveness on the fisheries and agriculture sector through education, research, development, administrative, technological, and marketing action, including the promotion of initiative for marking standards on healthy nutritional habits. And normally priority 3, maritime and marine governments and services, bolstering capacity building and efficient coordination of planning and local development activities for improving marine and maritime governance and blue growth services. Now I go a little bit in the details. Now we have some list of activity. First is policy choices. Now you show several actions that the boosting blue technologies in the Adriatic and Ionian region. This is development on the macro-regional research, development on innovation platforms in marine and blue biotechnologies, establishment of macro-regional clusters in promising sectors such as green, shipbuilding and new materials, and mobility of research between institutions, universities and companies. Some expected results, we have strong RDA and cooperation among and between small, medium enterprise, large enterprises, research centers operating in the Adriatic Ionian macro region, increased networking between research, small, medium enterprises and clusters, increased joint research papers and number of researchers exchanges in the macro region. Internalization of small, medium enterprises in the region, and easier access to finance and promotion of the criterion for start-up for this. Just a moment. Here. Now you show some possible priorities. This is RDA platforms on green sea mobility, deep sea resources, biosecurity and biotechnologies. Enlargement of national, regional and macro-regional cluster development, enhancement of research, mobility in the macro-region, facilitating access to finance for the small, medium enterprises and promotion of startups company. And now in the right side also is some list of the importance. Development of skilled human capital and technologies, creation of new jobs in the field of blue growth, know-how transfer between European Union and IPA countries, cooperation between research and published private sector, as well as users, development innovative products and services and technical transfer, compliance adoption of non-EU countries with EU acquis, and remove barriers to trade and investment. Indicative type of actions. Also, we have now a list for the next period of 7-8 years. And now I think that all of you see this activity, and maybe you don't not need to read this. And this indicative industry driven identification networking research platform for green shipbuilding, research platform for marine robots, promotion of startups, small companies, novel bioproducts from the macro region, development of innovative approaches in the utilization marine and bioresources, a design of production or testing at full scale vessels able to exploit new fuel for vessels. This is all regarding to first flagship, and now here is list of possible funding sources. This is normally Interreg programs, operative programs of European Union, coordination with national and regional ARD programs of Erasmus, RDF and COSME programs. Sector 2 is fishery and aquaculture. This is my field because I am member of national focal point for the General Commission for the fishery in Mediterranean. Normally, this activity is very important, and we have promoting sustainable diversification and competitiveness in the fisheries and aquaculture sector through education, research development, administrative, technological, and marketing actions, including the promotion and of initiatives of marketing standards and healthy nutritional habits. Also, we have now policy choices. This is list of possibilities and actions: sustainable and development of the fisheries, promotion of eco-innovation, improvement of knowledge, monitoring and surveillance, harmonization of standards across the macro region, improvement of skills and capacity to comply with EU rules and standards, increase of the aid value of local seafood value chains, development of market intelligence and transparent marketing, diversification of activities for the fishermen, identification of existing technologies and potential for use on the fishing sector. Gear selectivity, for example, is very, very important. Result which we expect is also better management and sustainable exploitation of fish stocks. Now this is very important, and we lot of discuss about this in the meeting of the General Fishery Commission. We make some stock assessment, and normally that situation in Adriatic and also in the Mediterranean Sea is not good now, and we must put some future restricted measurement for the all countries and all fleet in the fishery sector. Improvement of data collection and fish assessment, improve the fishery management and sharing with European regulation, international organization, compliance in implementation of measurement, combat illegal, unreported, and irregular fisheries, in elimination of destructive practices, utilization and bigger and more better use of discard for the in fishery activity, and plans to improve professional skills for the fishermen. Just a moment. I have some. Okay. Possibly priorities is also sustainable use of resources and integrated control of fisheries, building capacity for comply with the EU acquis and for fisheries, which are essential for long-term sustainability, cooperation on scientific issues and fishery management. Scientific cooperation between the macro-regional countries could be promoted in order to link scientific research to needs of fishery and aquaculture. Strategic importance is creation of new jobs, normally for and harmonization standards, and combining fishery with tourism activity, also for Pillar 4, should be exploited for future development. This is very important, especially for small countries like Montenegro, like Slovenia, that have this connection with Pillar 1 and Pillar 4. Okay, indicative type of action. Also, we have a list this action for next period. This is really, I don't now need to read all this. You show this in this presentation. And normally indicative will be to more improving industry. I say fishing tourism and ecotourism, restoration action for ancient habitat in areas that have been degraded or replaced with maritime infrastructure, improve monitoring, surveillance, resources, knowledge, assessment, and efficiency via technology, green energy fishing boats. This is very important also to use some alternative energy, and compliance for implementation and measurement, combat legal for the all type of illegal fishery activity in the macro region. Okay. Normally, possibly fund sources, Interreg, and also operative program for next 7 years from the European Commission. Just a moment. Flagship 3, Maritime and Marine Governance and Services, fostering capacity building and efficient coordination of planning and local development activities for improving marine and maritime governance and blue growth services. Also, now we have some list of policy choices, data sharing, joint planning and coordinated management of existing resources, exchanging capacity building to equip people with new skills that are needed for better marine and maritime governance and services, as well as for securing quality jobs and improve life chains. Result which we expect is enabling the growth and status blue economy and fostering planning coastal communities, improved governance and maritime space, improved skills and career development in blue economy, strengthening in networks for academics, training organization and professional organization of maritime sector in the macro region. Possible priorities is reduce conflict between sector and create synergies between different activities, encourage investment by creating predictability, transparency and clear rules, increase cross-border cooperation between EU and not EU countries for this, and protect the environment through the early identification of impact and opportunities for multiple use of the space. Strategic importance is improved maritime and marine governance and services, creation of new jobs, harmonization of standards, overcome of barriers and obstacles, and compliance adaptation of non-EU countries with EU actors. Indicator type of action on the project is research platforms and trains regional cooperation between community-led local development strategies for action to combat marine and litter pollution. Also is very important. Development of fish tourism and ecotourism, creation of startups on local employment and promotion of partnership working, governance of maritime space and sustainable and transparent use of maritime and marine resources. This will include supporting the implementation of the new directive of marine spatial planning, adopting clear legal framework for development for allocate zone for aquaculture, ASA, normally protected areas, exploiting deep sea water and marine mineral resources. Maritime professional skills, improve the level of skill and expertise of the working manpower in maritime sector. Normally, possible funding sources will be also Interreg, community lead local development strategies, and a new operative program of the European Commission, ERDF and ESF programs. Okay, this is sorry for my maybe not bad presentation, but this is not my fully field, and I think that now if you have some question, I'm here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Joksimovic. Is there maybe any questions for Mr. Joksimovic, or can we move forward and then we have a discussion later on? Okay. So then I would like to invite Mrs. Elena Banci. She's from Aero Science Park, lead partner of EUSAIR and Blue Air projects, and she will present to us how EUSAIR transitioned to Blue Air, also referring to presentation of Mr. Domagoj Šarić yesterday. And if I'm not wrong, I think there's 3 partners of these 2 projects present today, so I'm sure they could answer anything anyone might have. So Elena, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Simona. Thank you to the organization for inviting us today to this very interesting initiative, today's initiative. So, as you said before, yesterday already, my partner, Domagoj Šarić, already presented the project. So I'm going to start also with a brief presentation of, well, my institute and of the projects that we have been managing so far and that we will manage in the future. So I'm going to share my screen. So let's see if it works. Here comes the screen. Okay. Can you see that? Yes, right. So yes, today we were asked to present the linkages between EUSAIR projects, that is an ongoing project, and the Blue Air initiative, that's another Adrian funded project that will start quite soon. We as Aero Science Park are the coordinator of both initiatives, and many of the partners of the first project are already collaborating to the Blue Air, so there is a sort of continuum linkages and collaboration of partners involved before and in the next future to that. So just a few words on always their main objectives for those of you that who did not took part to the meeting, to the presentation of yesterday. So what were the objectives of EUSAIR? So the main ones were that of improving skills and competencies of R&D centers of the Adrian area by assisting the creation of innovation networks beyond the borders. Then to stimulating small and medium enterprises to access to research infrastructures such as testbed, labs, and to increase business investments in research and innovation, and then to valorize research results and establish durable links and synergies between enterprises, R&D centers, and research infrastructures. This is, just an overall presentation. We started in 2018 and we'll end all the activities by the end of this year. The total budget is 1.5 million euro, and the partners are basically 7 partners ranging from Italy, with 2 partners from Italy, then Croatia, then Republic of Serbia, Slovenia, Albania, and Greece. Then also we involved in these activities also some associate partners from all those countries, and also from Montenegro with the Ministry of Science. So main pillars and activities. Okay, I'm going to be very quick on that, but also to focus on some activities that were just mentioned yesterday. So the three pillars of this project are basically the pilot macro-regional S3 that was presented yesterday in details by Domagoj Stradic. The second one is the technology transfer and business innovation support. And the third one is the EUSAIR hub and spoke network that will guarantee in the future the sustainability of the initiative and of the collaboration between partners. So the pilot macro-regional S3 got, let's say, a good success within the community based in the Adriatic-Ionian region and also beyond. We were asked also to present it in Brussels at the EUSAIR governing board and also in other initiatives at European level. What we have done, we have analyzed the S3 at macro-regional level by means of a pilot initiative, and we have also prepared an action plan, quite precise action plan, shared with policy stakeholders to find funding and other, let's say, sub-activities to have these measures, to find measures and operative initiatives to the sectors we identified with our analysis. Then we have implemented some technology and transfer measures, and also some, one of the core activities was that of providing business support at transregional level by means of our professional auditors. Just to present briefly this proof of concept call, this was a very successful proof of concept call that we launched in 2019 and was aimed to promote transnational research done by public and private research centers based in the Ionian area. And the initiative proved to be quite successful. In fact, we collected 100 technologies applications from, let's say, all over, and then 65 joint research and business innovation projects were submitted. Some of them were submitted by transnational partnership. That means a research center based in Slovenia and one small medium enterprises based in Greece, thus proving that collaboration can be done. And then out of that, 10 innovation vouchers were selected and were funded by an innovation voucher worth 18,500 euro each. Referring to the business innovation audit, we are now providing to the territories involved 150 innovation audits, which are, we are providing this audit. We are visiting enterprises, and we are trying to show them that the market there is in their hands, and they can reach by means of this, by means of us or our partnership. They can get other, collaborations in the area. Okay. So now, what's next? We have capitalized this initiative, okay, by applying for another funding, always under the Adrian program, and applying with this project proposal named Blue Air. Okay, the two initiatives have something in common. Of course, as you can see, we are focusing on the smart specialization strategy. We are approaching the smart specialization strategy with a macro-regional approach, but also some difference come up quite clearly. EUSAIR was much more devoted to research and innovation, okay, also by means of the proof of concept poll, and by also involving and sharing research infrastructures for the key players of the area. We were developing technology transfers measures, business support actions, and all of that was is made sustainable in the future by means of the creation of the EUSAIR network. On the contrary, the new initiative is just focused on the blue growth. Okay, it's not that much open to all the sectors, but is focused only on blue growth. It wants to support the policy offices to approach and to manage effectively the EDP process. That, as you know, it's the much more critical and difficult process to be tackled in the definition of the smart specialization of the, let's say, territorial smart specialization strategies. And the blue area is much more focused on a governance approach, okay? And it is meant also to create a blue area innovation community, okay? Always focused on the topic of the blue growth with regional, national, and international stakeholder, okay? Not only belonging to the Aegean area, but also beyond. So, key partners. As you can see here, the EUSAIR partnership was composed by 7 partners. The blue air one is composed by 11. But let's say 5 partners are decided to keep on collaborating together and decided to support the initiative, this new initiative. What does that mean? That's honestly, some partners, okay, are much more conceived as colleagues, and that's you know, honestly, we collaborated very, very well, and that's I think a good output of the collaboration that was established under the previous initiative and under the Aegean umbrella. Blue air main thematic pillars. So what we will do starting from November, okay? This project was funded, okay? We were told that in July, but now we are currently working on the negotiation process, and let's say we are planning to start in November. The budget is 2.6 million euro, more or less, a little bit more than that. And this initiative was submitted under the call for proposal for strategic projects, okay, in mid-2019. The partners, as I told you before, there is a quite wide partnership that covers, I mean, all the, let's say, the old territory of the EUSAIR strategy. We still miss the North Macedonia, but we will surely involve them in the international initiatives. And I'm not going to read them all, you can see them. There are, I mean, 11 is quite a good number. And moreover, we involved many associate partners. Why we did that? The project, as I said before, is targeting public officers and public policymakers dealing with innovation policies, innovation strategies in their countries. So we wanted to be very concrete and to create many activities aimed at empowering their capacities, okay, also by means of pilot actions, and supporting their territories to, let's say, build an harmonized innovation strategy, okay? This is the, why we involved so many associates. Blue air, which were the challenges we were asked to face, which are the objectives, okay, that we will work on. So the territorial challenges we are facing are the current fragmented approach to innovation, the blue growth in the Adriatic Ionian area, the presence of lag-and-behind regions that was highlighted yesterday for some regions of the area, the need for facilitating the joint transition to a knowledge-based innovation policies. What does that mean? It means that we would like to provide, by means of this initiative, much more technical information, much more market-oriented information, so that to enable policymaking to be much more operative and future-oriented, right? And then another challenge is that of harmonizing the blue growth policies in the Adriatic Ionian area, because topics such as sea transport, energy connectivity, and sustainable tourism are cannot be managed separately in our area. We have got 2 seas, we have to be operative, manage these issues. It's a very important issue, and also the pollutions of our seas in jointly, right? Project objectives. Let me see, I'm sorry, I cannot see them. Okay. The objectives ranges from improving the competencies of the quadruple helix actors in defining the innovation policies in the blue growth, identifying blue growth sectors and subsectors of macro-regional interest, and exploit their potential for transnational cooperation, technical and market potentials. Then to support the development of a macro-regional S3 on blue growth in the Adriatic Ionian area. Okay. Some activities, that's some of them were already mentioned before. What we will do in the next future, we will start by identifying the best practices available on the blue growth innovation policies by means of an analysis following the methodology defined for EUSAIR and explained yesterday. Then we are going to organize many mutual learning events on blue growth innovation policies. The target here are basically policy officers, policy makers, and quadruple helix players of the area. Then setting in place a blue air innovation community based on a quadruple helix approach ranging from the regional territory to the national to the international ones. Then to develop a blue growth smart strategy by means of the previous analysis and by means of several technical tools. Then we are going to also to focus on investments. Innovation without investments is, will be weak, of course. So we are going also to focus on investment by means of an action plan and investment innovation strategies, and also by means of other tools. Then we will also develop an S3 improvement toolkit, okay, so that to empower the public officers and all the players involved in defining the innovation strategies over their territories to develop with an harmonized vision their territorial innovation policy, and to to rely on a good approach towards the EDP process. And then there will be many and several activities related to capitalization, organization of Blue Growth Weeks and communication events and so on. So what's more? We, as I said before, Blue Air is a follow-up from EUSAIR, but also will continue and will be enriched by another initiative that is going to be developed at Mediterranean level and is funded by the Interreg Med, devoted this time to blue bioeconomy. What has it in common with the previous ones? the focus here again is on supporting the public administration to develop an harmonized smart specialization strategy within their territories, but also in an harmonized way with all the Mediterranean territory, and to link this strategy with the sustainable development goals. Okay, so guaranteeing a sustainable approach to be embedded in their strategies. So this is what we have done with the EUSAIR, what we are going to do with the Blue Air, and then with the Blue Biomed initiatives for the Mediterranean basin. So this is all from my side, and I will be available also for some questions just after this presentation, because I will have to leave just in 10 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Elena. Does anyone have any questions or comments for Mrs. Manchi?
Hello.
Okay.
It's Alex. I have a question.
Yes.
So
Go ahead.
Alex, good
Yeah.
morning.
Okay. Yeah. Good morning, Elena. So many thanks for the presentation. Very interesting, and we are fully supporting your initiative. Just please make sure that when you refer to macro-regional smart specialization strategy, what you will be doing, it's not exactly that. You know, you are basically preparing the grounds that could support and facilitate eventual development of such strategy. But the critical part of any smart specialization strategy is actually entrepreneur discovery process. So
Yes.
in order to do that in the macro-regional sphere, you would need to somehow assure that all the stakeholders on all the fields of common interest of all the 9 countries participating. Well, if we talk about countries, but of course in Italian side there are many regions, and in Greek side is many regions also. So all these partners would need to have equal opportunities to participate, to present, to agree, and so on. So it's still far away from having smart macro-regional smart specialization strategy. What perhaps would be best that you would focus for now, because it's a super complex process and it's impossible to organize such a thing at this moment, would be perhaps activities towards alignment of blue growth or other EUSAIR related topics. So something like that could be more manageable at the moment.
Yes, well, thank you, Anish, also for allowing me to clarify this point. So, as you said, we are going to analyze the 3 thanks to desk analysis, basically, and then that will be validated by the single territories, of course. But then we know that the critical point, the critical part of the process is the EDP, the entrepreneurial discovery process. We are going to also to involve in this process also the quadruple helix sectors at territorial level. But what we want to do is, we will try, of course, to do, is to prepare the ground, as you said, by means of several toolkits, to let the policymakers and policy officers to organize in the best way they can, the EDP process territory. So we will try to support them. Then the game is in their hands. Okay, harmonization is needed, as we saw before, and we can, let's say, gave them an approach, an overall analysis. Okay, that's a starting analysis of what we can do at the moment, but then we are preparing the ground for them to be on that. What can I say now is that some regions already asked us to start quite soon, because they would like to have these tools already operative as soon as possible, because they are approaching the EDP or they are finalizing that. We will try also to go faster, but honestly, I can already say that there is a need to have some common tools to approach the EDP process. This is what we can see already, and that's from the feedbacks we have.
Elena, thank you. I just have a technical guidance, and then we have 2 more comments. If someone is commenting, I would just kindly ask you to present yourself so the whole audience knows who is talking. So the first question was from first comment was from Aleš Namuš from the JRC. And now I give the word to Goran Stenko from the government office. He has a comment.
Thank you. I hope, okay, you already introduced me, so yeah. The introduction is not needed. Thank you, Elena, for the very, very good presentation. And I would like to also thank Aleš for this comment. I think it's a very, very important one, but my message is that why I want to thank you for your presentation is, right, this is also one of the aims of today's meeting. So the capitalization of such findings, you presented so well the development of both and the connection of both projects, that I see it has a great potential. And I see, like, now the discussion between you and the Aleš is that, right, this is the crucial part, I would say, you know, what we are also talking yesterday, you know, it can be a very, very valuable input for the entrepreneurial discovery process, which we have to do it by, it has to be done by policymakers together with all the other, you know. And although we are not, unfortunately, due to some, certain decisions, formally associated partner, our government office, but you know that we follow very closely both of the projects, so like EUSAIR, like BlueAir, and I see it as a very, very good potential to explore this potential bottom-up approach to have a valuable suggestion and impact on the policy level. So like a strategic guidelines or strategic, let's say, like guidelines for the policy level. No? And with this, with what you will find, it will certainly contribute to the entrepreneurial process that we all have to do it in our regions or countries for the smart specialization. And hopefully even later on, we will know much better to perhaps come to, at the end, to certain level of smart, let's say, macro regional smart specialization, hopefully sometime in the future.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, and here is
may I just have, Simona, it's again Aleš. May I have another, just a minor comment?
Of course.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Gorazd. It's actually going a little bit in line with what I suggested yesterday, but I think it would be a great opportunity for Slovenia and also for the other countries that are partners in one or more macro-regional strategies to now, in the course of preparing the new smart specialization strategy for the new financial perspective 2021-27, to actually try to align and to see its potential cooperation opportunities in these macro-regional strategies. So along with other regions in the surrounding. So I think that it can help, for example, to Slovenia in the past financial perspective in this particular smart specialization strategy. There was not much on blue growth. So somehow the partners that are working in Slovenia on blue growth, they have somehow had troubles to get involved in the only field that was a little bit related with which was the circular economy. So there's an opportunity for these partners to somehow also liaise with the partners that are working on that round. So in Italy, in Croatia, Montenegro, Greece, and so on, and to actually present something that is that is aligned with what the others are doing, which actually at the same time then improves the potential for cooperation in the project at Interreg Adrion and in other fields. Just as a kind of input for the process that is coming. In Slovenia and in other countries the same. I mean, there's no reason why it should be different.
Yes, I will just, I completely agree with Aleš from my side. I just would like to add, to complement his remarks by saying that blue growth is also inland water management. So this was also an issue that was commented by Serbian partners. So the approach, even if the territory is not, does not have direct contact with the sea or has a limited contact with the sea, as it is for Slovenia, the inland waters have matters in this, will matter in this project as well.
Thank you, Elena. I will give word now to the next question, and then I guess Boris wants to say something else. So, yeah, please.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, and thank you very much for all your contributions yesterday and today. May I now comment this and propose as a pillar coordinator of environmental quality how we do see this process and how important the research and development and of course the smart specialization is for this Adriatic Ionian strategy to make it real and efficient. This is from the early beginning of our, let's say, start and going back to the Greek presidency, I'm proud that we first found a way to address this issue together with the blue growth in Crete, on Crete, how to use scientific-based approach for solution among the blue growth and environmental quality to find solution. And from that time on, we are of course doing our best to improve and to find common languages among sectors, among users and planners, how to change and make the shift for sustainable use of, as the colleague said, also for sustainable fishery among many other uses in shared ecoregion. And as you, as chairman or the leader of the process, which is of course very, and the project Blue Air promising. You mentioned that new networks for research beyond borders is needed. That's exactly what it's an issue, what it's must, and what you are addressing with this your approach. And this is what we are very happy with. But now I would like to really ask you for the focus. Taking all this into account, and I'm glad of this, our Coast Week, which we are trying to merge all relevant issues with other stakeholders, we are now on the position, and thanks to the call of European Commission for the Green Deal, to really act, to act on another way as it was till now. This is not anymore business as usual. We have to demonstrate, as we see it, really approach which will work, which will serve the needs of the Adriatic Ionian countries, in this case, for concrete solutions. What is this and how to find this? We try also to by the way, to sell this, let's say, idea on in Trieste on the last meeting of the ESOF in September, European science on the issues protection of marine habitats and along coastal areas, scientific and social aspects, to really bring science as much into the Adriatic Ionian stories as possible. Why? Because we do have really very limited time to deliver first project. This is the March next year to the European Commission, which should based on the scientific approach, for example, for coastal and marine planning, which is completely new dimension in the history of European, let's say, addressing seriously marine environment. And of course, all development which is for the recovery in post-COVID situation even much more important. You know, it's about the even food security and health security. And this is what we need, pragmatic and applied science to somehow translate existing results and planning the new researches for solutions. For the, as you said, once again, networks beyond borders, for what? For better management of coastal and marine resources in a shared eco-region, which is now the new facts of planning on national level, what it's not yet recognized on many, let's say, in many countries. It's new approach for planning sustainable use of coastal and marine resources on the shared ecoregion of Adriatic and Ionia. And this is the business for research to bring and to do and to contribute to the developer sectors and on the end planning sectors on the national level for what? For solutions. And this is where we see extremely important your role on very pragmatic, again, transformation of existing and new results and new studies for solutions. For that, we do have already 4 projects, which are flagship projects. We embedded them for the blue growth, for the connectivity, and for sustainable tourism. Now we need your, let's say, your support, smart specialization, new knowledge, new how to transform these results for the planning of further development along the shared coast. And I'm looking forward for the afternoon discussion that you will try to help us with a concrete proposal how you will shift your, let's say, approach to serve the country's needs and European Commission expectation, which are, by the way, declared very, very precisely with the Green Deal. Thank you.
Thank you. Uras, you want to reply to Audits?
Yeah, although we already skipped the Belarus. 2 comments, 2 sentences, just to Alish and to Elena. Okay, Elena is not already.
Yes, Elena had to leave, but Domagoj is still here, from my understanding.
Alash, just to quick reply, what you proposed was exactly and is exactly precisely our intention. And this is also why we invited both projects to present on this event, to be presented on this event. So thank you for your initiative. And from our side, at least I'm speaking from the side of Slovenia, to take into account in the process of EDP for our revise of the smart specialization. And on top of that, we asked, and he kindly joined us, also wanting to present also, despite that we don't have not blue air, but blue growth in our smart specialization, that something can be done. It will be also later on presented the concrete project from Mr. Kujan, and we will take into consideration also this. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So now we're moving to concrete projects, and the first one I would like to invite is Stavros Kalognomos. He comes from Balkan and Black Sea Commission, Conference of Territorial Maritime Regions from France, and he will present to us a project called Cultural and Creative Regional Ecosystems. Stavros, are you with us?
Yes, hello. Do you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you very much.
I will give you the floor now. Thank you
Okay,
so much.
thank you very much. Thank you. Let me share my screen as well. So, thank you very much for the invitation and the opportunity to share with you what we do at the CPMR level. To start with, I'd like to say that the Conference of Peripheral Maritime Regions is an association of some 150 regions from 24 states from the European Union and beyond, active in the EUSAIR area through 3 geographical commissions. That means the Balkans, the Black Sea one, the Intermediterranean and the Islands commissions, as well as by coordinating the INUREC initiative, the Adriatic-Ionian network of universities, regions, chambers of commerce and cities. So today we are here with you to share what we've done on cultural and creative industries.
Stavros,
Yes?
I'm sorry, we do not see your presentation yet.
Because I shared, just a moment, I'm sorry. Let me check again. I share my screen. What do you see right now?
We still see just the participants.
Okay, just a moment. Now?
Yes, now you see
Okay.
the presenter, so now the presentation should show up. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can you see it now?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. Okay, great. Thank you. So today we are here to share with you what we've done on the cultural and creative industries field, and in particular the cultural and creative regional ecosystems thematic area under the Smart Specialization platform of the European Commission. So this is a newly established thematic area by a partnership led by the region of Western Greece from the Adriatic-Ionian region, the region of Aragon in Spain, and Tuscany in Italy, and supported by the CPMR. So this thematic area is one of the thematic areas under the Smart Specialization platform, and in particular the one on industrial modernization of the European Commission regional Smart Specialization strategies. And it was set further to consultation with our partners in the area, and on the basis of the key elements of Smart Specialization strategies. So we took into consideration the different priorities that regions have when they set up their Smart Specialization strategies, and further to discussions with the European Commission, in particular DG Regio, GROW, and the JRC, we found out that there is room for a new thematic area on culture and on cultural and creative industries. We also took into consideration the feedback we had as CPMR from the INUREC events, from our regional and local stakeholders in the Adriatic-Ionian region, and also the TSG Force recommendations. We also took into consideration the COVID-19 outbreak when we were elaborating this new thematic area. And the final result was this thematic area aiming to stimulate new insights and opportunities related to cultural and creative experiences for local communities and residents through public and private investments. And it focuses on 4 cultural and creative industries related groups of professions, meaning creative entrepreneurs, cultural heritage professionals, cultural and creative intermediaries and managers, and publisher professionals. There is also a link to blue growth, since the above groups include blue growth related professionals such as marine biologists, maritime historians and archaeologists, maritime special planners, fishermen or traditional shipbuilders, and other sectors. And they also use advanced technologies with cultural and creative regional ecosystems focus, such as digital technologies, ICT, photonics, and other key enabling technologies that could be used with underwater archaeological sites, for instance, and other blue growth sectors. Regarding the Adriatic-Ionian part of this partnership, apart from the leading partner, Western Greece region, our Adriatic-Ionian partners so far are from Bosnia and Herzegovina, the Republic of Srpska, from Greece, 3 regions, the regions of Central Greece, East Macedonia and Thrace, and North Aegean. From Montenegro, we have coverage of the whole country through the Chamber of Commerce, of Economy. The same we do in Serbia through the Chambers of Commerce and Industry. As I said before, this thematic area is new, so we'll have, in the framework of the upcoming Open Days, an online workshop to present this thematic area and discuss with our participants. So, since the deadline is quite tight, I invite all participants interested in this thematic area to register until the 27th of September, join our workshop, discuss with and exchange with the speakers, and learn more about this newly established thematic area. We'll have speakers from the region. We'll have Rijeka as a European capital of culture this year, also affected by the COVID outbreak. We'll have speakers from the European Commission, DG Regio, and the JRC. So please join us. Send your questions in advance or during the workshop. And here I would like to thank you very much for your attention, and I remain at your entire disposal for any questions you may have.
Thank you, Stavros. Does the audience have any questions, maybe? No? Okay. Actually, I have a question for you, if I may. Considering it's cultural and creative industries, and that, you know, one of your target groups are tourism workers, but also, like you said, fishermen, how do you motivate such target groups that are not necessarily understanding what culture and creative is to be involved in your project?
First of all, we have a wider contact list of regional and local stakeholders who participated in our INUREC events. We know that these stakeholders are interested, so we also try through our key partners in the area, the fora of the universities, the chambers of commerce and the cities, and also through our members, the regions, to motivate people to learn about this, to understand that it's something that it's of interest to them. It concerns their daily life. There are different opportunities for business. So we are trying to raise awareness through our network and our partners. And up until now, for instance, for the online workshop, we have a wide range of stakeholders, also from the Adriatic-Ionian region, that have registered. So we can see and we can measure so far the interest of a wider range of stakeholders.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
If there's no other question or comment, then I would go to our next project, which is ICT Ecological Water Monitoring by Heart Rate of the Shells. The presenter will be Mr. Alexander Joksimovic. You already heard him once today. He comes from Institute of Marine Biology from Kotor, Montenegro. Mr. Joksimovic, are you here?
Yes, I'm here again.
Okay, great. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I will present one part of our projects by ICT, First Center of Excellence in Montenegro. and the project financed by Ministry of Science and from funds of the World Bank. This project started 2014 and have 4 national and 2 international partners, and also we include 2 privately company also in this project. Project involve about 80 researchers from Montenegro and Denmark and Russia. We have a lot of young people inside of this project, like researchers, young researchers, and around 10 PhD students was made some PhD in the frame of this project. Okay, all part of our institute in the working package 6 was ICT ecological water monitoring by hair trade of the mussels. This is some new methods, and in this case, collaboration was between our Institute for Public Health of Montenegro, Faculty for Electrical Engineering. Also, in this working package was include international scientific partner St. Petersburg Scientific Research Center for the Ecological Safety, Russian Academy of Science, with Professor Sergei Kolkedievich, and normally our partner from the Montenegro was mussel and fish farm company Cogimar from the Kotor, here in Kotor. You know that marine organisms very well know their environment in the sea, much better that we know this. This knowledge is displaying in various ways. It could be sharp changes of behavior in any case of accidental environmental toxic pollution, or slowly changing of physiological parameters as a result of absorption and accumulation of pollutants. Blue mussels, Mytilus galloprovincialis, is most common bottom and falling community marine animals of Mediterranean area. It is a filtrator, constantly filtering and censoring surrounding water in its habitat. Mollusks possesses a high sensitivity and respond relatively rapidly to contamination, and therefore changes in their physiological, cardiac response, and behavior well-gave characteristics are used for estimation of the environmental state. The research team created multi-channel fiber optic bioelectronic system, Professor Kolkedievich, 2007, allows the measure hair traits simultaneously from several animals in combination with behavioral, well-gave fine registration characteristic. Obtained data were analyzed with the use of special software in real time on the basis of variationally pulsometry method adapted in the invertebrates. The latter allows to have detailed assessment of variability characteristics which are used of biomarkers for water toxicity biomonitoring. This is one diagram of both diagram showing mussels cardiac activity monitoring system made from Professor Kolkedievich. And if you see, we have from mussels some sensor and connection with optical cable go in the some adaptator and transformator, and finally we have in the monitor some hair trait like cardio activity in the this moment which coming from the muscle. This method was used before in the Black Sea, also used in the Finland, in the Baltic Sea, and some used in the experimental small aquarium in the Professor Kolkedievich lab in the St. Petersburg. This is some diagram in the muscles with this transformation and adapters in left side, and you possible to show that heart rate is in the monitor every time we possible to tool. The software is learned that distinguish a false alarm caused by individual peculiarity and behavior of given muscles from a real one. The set of the photoplethysmographs monitor with moving curves and muscles analog to digital converters, and we see cardiac activity. We have 7 channels in processes. This show how this cardiogram responds and send alarm for stress, and in 6 hours in the morning, some is changed in water, and in this time muscles make some stress, and we should show that heart rate is not like in normal time, and also we have stress index in the graphic down. This is place when we established this monitoring system in the fish farm Sogimar, very close to the Kotor and Ore Institute, and also one part of this equipment was established in our institute in one experimental lab with some experimental aquarium, and this really was a good opportunity to know how is situation in the water. Normally, after that, when this stress we show in the graphic, normally that our teams, chemistry team, microbiological team, use ensembles water, and after that analyze very precise what happened in this water and why these animals have stress. This is very important for the healthy control of this produce, because you know that a lot of people and a lot of Mediterranean countries use this produce from the sea for the food. And normally that is very important that we have very fast and very quick information how is water, how quality of water where this organisms is breathing. One part of our activity during this project was also smart buoys. We planned in this time that establish and use around 80 buoys during our coast, that in every time online we have information about some temperature, salinity, pH of sea waters. This is very useful for some tourists, for some people who is make some activity in the sea. Normally, one group of these scientists working to develop this system and use some non-cable connection, GPR connection, and plan was that this system established in all farms, mussels farms in Montenegro, in the Boka Kotorska Bay. But now this project is finished, and we wait some new, maybe new possibility to continue. This project now exists and transformed in one organization unit of University of Montenegro. This is Institute for Research in the Development sector, and I hope that very quickly in the future this institute will be again start with some activity, and we will be continue with this I think very interesting and important type and methodology to measurement of quality water, because we are touristic destination, you know, and we really must have very precise and very details data about our seawater quality. Okay, this is our research boat, and this is part of Boka Kotorska Bay in front of our institute. Please, if you have some question, I am here.
Thank you, Mr. Joksimovic. I'm opening the floor. Does anyone have any question or comment about this interesting project? No? Okay.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Can you can stop sharing your screen, please? There is a comment. Let's see. Here's a comment. I think Slovenian partners would be very interested to expand, which I think we all agree. So now I would like to invite our next presenter, Mr. Vladimir Atanasovsky, Professor and Vice Dean of the Faculty of Electrical Engineering and Information Technologies from North Macedonia. And he will present the project called Innovate. So, Professor Vladimir, are you here?
Yes,
okay.
I'm
I see
here.
you
I
are.
start sharing my slides. Can you see them?
We see
Is it
them.
okay? Do you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you, and thank you for the opportunity to present Innovate. Innovate, yes, it is a project, but it's actually our Center for Technology Transfer and Innovations. I'm currently serving as the Managing Director because I'm the Vice Dean for Finances at the Faculty of Electrical Engineering and Information Technologies. And Innovate is a separate legal entity here that is owned by the university, but it's operated entirely by our faculty and our faculty management. So it will be mostly devoted to engineering disciplines. The main idea behind Innovate, which was officially established and opened in 2018, was to serve as a central point for, I would say, triple T, technology to transfer. Basically, we are not providing legal technology transfer services for our staff, but we're providing or pinpointing and selecting the technology that can be transferred, and we are then doing matchmaking with interested companies that are actually that can be beneficiaries for the technology that is being developed. Very roughly speaking, we would say that we have a lot of research that has a lot of solutions to non-existing problems, but now we are trying to find actually the realistic problems that can be addressed with the many solutions that we as academic staff and engineers have. The idea behind Innovate is not that new because it builds upon our international reputation. We, as a Faculty of Electrical Engineering and Information Technologies, we attract a solid amount of funds for our environment and for our society. We have at least 10 new contracts each year. We have many international projects. We have many publications. We have many patents. And I can say that our faculty is the most successful faculty in the country regarding the international cooperation and international R&D projects. But the focus of the center is to actually improve, enhance, and stimulate the knowledge that we gained throughout all these projects to the economy. So it's in line with all the latest efforts regarding the smart specialization and so on. We're also trying to, in a way, tackle the brain drain from the country, because it's a process that is extremely emphasized in the last couple of years. And we are speaking with a lot of students here. They basically say that if they have good and challenging projects and in challenging environment where to work, they would not leave the country. So that's what we are trying to do, find projects that are interesting and challenging for them to do. And our main focus is in the areas that we are specializing at the faculty. That would be information and communication technologies and renewable energy and energy efficiency. We're also, as I said, central point for TTT, and in this way we're trying to ease the possibility for commercialization of developed technology. What is really interesting and important for us is that through the efforts of the center in the last couple of years, we're trying to increase the contract research services that we provide for the local, but also for the international industry, because The number that I showed for funds that we gained through international research, if you divide it through from different sources, we get something like 1.2% of project funding coming from contract research, which is extremely low for us. So that's why we wanted to establish Innovate and to actually boost these numbers. And at the same time, by motivating students to work on interesting projects and technology that can be transferred to companies, we're trying to modify our curricula towards more practically oriented studies. So we're not just trying to do classical ex-cathedra, taking exams and so on. We're trying to challenge the students. We're trying to move towards problem-based learning, and in the end, become what is lately known as challenge-driven university, CDU. This is the research focus. The umbrella topic is ICT services for emerging tele-infrastructures, and we have 4 pillars. The pillars were not selected by our wish to work in these areas, but rather they're stemmed in our experience. We have, in each of these pillars, we have several projects, we have many publications, we have at least 1 patent in each of these in these pillars, and that's why we're trying to work on what is from our experience best for our people here. And it's also in line with what the smart specialization strategy is targeting. The activities I already mentioned, we provide contract research services for industrial partners, but if there is no specific contract at the moment, we also define projects that can be of mutual interest for us and our students and potential industrial partners, and then we try to engage them to sign contracts, engage people, students, provide co-working space. We also organized workshops and events. Of course, with the COVID-19 situation, this is a little bit on standby in the last half year, but it really was a good opportunity for us to boost our local and international visibility. We are also a founding partner of the accelerator of the university, so we are always trying to support innovative startups and spin-offs, especially coming from the academic environment. And we also are trying to be involved in international projects that specifically target practical education, problem-based learning, collaborative case studies, and so on. So we are not trying to take away the R&D things from the faculty, but rather find international projects that are dealing with what Innovate's actual target is. This is practically the most important slide for my presentation. This shows the 5 current research contract research projects that we have. The first 4 are for local companies, and these companies are receiving grants from the State Fund for Innovation and Technology Development, which is good. I mean, I must thank the fund because they really boosted the innovation in the entire ecosystem in the country. The idea is that the companies are receiving money to make some innovative and new novel and innovative products, but if they don't have or they are not interested in investing them from their own pockets, this is a good way to show them that they can do, and they can come to the university that can actually perform the innovation for them, and hopefully in the next couple of years they will try to do it from their own sources. The first project deals with renewable energy and energy management. The second one is IoT's the development of a sensor, in-house sensor for air quality monitoring. The third one is we make a machine and software for waste management for recycling of plastic packages. The fourth one is system for automatic transcription of media. It's for digesting internet media. And the fifth one is contract research for Belgian company. We work on image analysis for the company, and it's the classical contract research by definition, let's say. The road ahead, we are pinpointed by the European Investment Bank as a potential regional center of excellence in the Western Balkan area. You can find the entire the roadmap for our center here, along with the plan and with the budget and with what would be the KPIs for becoming the center of excellence. So we are constantly trying to seek investment in this area, just so to boost our position from being a local or a regional partner to an international center of excellence in the areas of ICT and renewable energy efficiency. This is the contact details. If you have any questions, I would be more than happy to answer, or if you want to collaborate, you can drop me an email or whatever suits you. So thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you very much. Any questions or comments from the audience?
Thank you very much for the presentation from the North Macedonia. It's extremely important that we do have such a concrete, let's say, contribution from now not anymore new member also of Adriatic Ionian strategy. I would like to encourage you that we did our best also us with the Serbian colleagues to find the common, let's say, issues to work with the so-called landlocked countries, and Macedonia and Serbia are the cases of that with the theme of green corridors, how to respect eco-connectivity when you are planning new development, not to further the fragmented ecosystem services and goods, which are, we all know now, an issue for sustainable solutions, and this transforming our business as usual approach to new dimension of the even Green Deal philosophy. So thank you. North Macedonia, it's very important part of Adriatic Ionian strategy. This is my message. It's very important because it's transboundary issue, very much connected with the river basins, also with the karstic, let's say, aquifers, where your famous lakes are very important, not just touristical, let's say, destination and potential, but also for development for sustainable solution in the region. And this is where we see you as important player with this your approach of renewable energy research, is air quality and waste management. So I kindly invited you to join us with your knowledge, with your researches for transboundary solutions, where we do have innovative projects for river basin, new generation of river basin management planning. What is extremely important for the North Macedonia, Greece, and of course Serbia, as well as Montenegro. And with this, we believe we can do it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you. So now our next speaker, before the last one before the break, is Mrs. Dragica Marinic. She comes from Chamber of Commerce and Industry of Štajerska region in Slovenia, and she's leading the SRIP, Strategic Research and Innovation Partnership, Networks Towards Circular Economy. Dragica, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you very much. Just a moment, please. Did you see?
No, you have not shared the screen yet.
Just a moment, please. Zdaj povej mi, zakaj sem jaz narobe naredila.
Ok, zato ti vidim. Kaj pa danes, ko si zaprla?
Ne, nič. Samo dala sem tega.
Pre-aplikacijo is already running.
Just a moment, please.
Samo zbereš, kjerega hočeš še. To je monitor.
Now it's okay.
Now you are the presenter and the presentation is here too. So thank you.
Thank you very much. I have to say thank you to my colleague. He is our technician and he knows everything, you know. So welcome from our side, from the Strategic Research and Innovation Partnership, a network to the transition to the circular economy. I would like to present shortly about our activity and on the end also our project, which is belonging also to the blue economy, we could say, or green economy, how we can manage with the plastic waste. I hope you see the next slide. It's okay, Simona? Because I have some technical problems here, I hope this is everything. So Slovenia has, sorry?
No, you are still on the first slide, so just so you know.
Yes. Slovenia has the Slovenian Smart Specialization Strategy, and under this, Slovenia has established, as you see, many different strategic research and innovation partnerships. And one of these pillars, we could say, is also circular. And under this circular pillar, we are 3 different focus areas, and one of these is also circular economy. What we would like to do under our 3 strategic research and innovation partnership, as you see, a long-term sustainable public-private partnership is this. And also we can say we are talking about innovation ecosystem. And under our this partnership, we have together companies, R&D institutions, and also NGOs. Because if we are talking about the circular economy, we have to think the change of the culture, our type of living, and also at the same time how we manage in the third part, that means in the economy part, and not just in the economy part, but also in the education part. So we thinking that we are using the model, quadruple helix model, as an open innovation. And of course, we are doing many different activities in the way of the new knowledge, new projects, research projects, and on the third part, of course, we have to think about how we can manage with the companies on the global market. Just shortly, when we started with our activities, as you see in 2016, and at the moment we starting from the nothing, that means from the bottom up, and at the moment currently we've got 77 different members. Mostly of them are from the companies, from the SMEs. And very shortly about our focus areas, sustainable energy is one of them, then is biomass, secondary raw materials. Under this are also different kinds of waste. And what we have to do, we have to think about new research in these different kinds, how we can manage with the secondary raw materials, from the building waste, for example, from the different electronic waste, then also from the different technicians problems about the waste, how we can manage with the waste water treatment, and what is very important, we've got also under this also how we manage with the normal drinking water. And the next part are functional materials. Under this we have 2 levels. One is how we can use the different composites, also the biocomposites, and also how we can manage with the smart packaging from the different materials. And if we are putting together and we through the circular economy, we have to change also the processing and technologies. On this part, we are talking also about green chemistry, for example, and also how we can manage with different processes on different technologies in our companies, which are belonging to our city. And in the end, if we, I hope, we manage with many different activities, and of course, at the same time, we created also circle business models, the new circle business models. On this part, I have to say, we've got every year very important international conference on the technologies and also how we can manage with the different business models. And unfortunately, this year will be in November, this conference only on the internet. Of course, we will send you also invitation for this event. Our activities are under collaboration and networking between partners and also international. As you see, first our goal is completed the action plan and also be very open, because some new members, they've got also some new ideas, new proposals, and new innovation part to our street. So we have to think how we can manage with them, and that means our action plan business strategy is open, and we have to follow the new activities also on the global market. So the first part is action plan, and then also how we manage under this action plan also with the human resources, also with the competencies, new competencies. As you know, if we're talking about circular economy, we have to think about new competencies and also about new knowledge in the, not just in the high school or the third part of education, but also the second level. And what is very important is digitalization. That means the new technology, also eco design, and at the same time, we are also the members of these three parts of the platforms. On one part, initiative, we've got also representative in this part from our one of our partner, that is the National Chemistry Institute, and of course we are also the associated partner as the BBI in the Europe, that's mean bioeconomy. On the other part of our activity are also preparing the different projects, research and development projects, and what we have to do, development, the new products, high-tech products, and also the different other kind of activities. That means the promoting the entrepreneurship, sharing the capacities between companies and also between research institutions. Now I would like to present one example, one project which belonging also to your Adriatic Adron area, and this is the poly circularity is the title, and how we can manage with the plastic waste to the secondary raw materials. The lead partner is one of our members. The company name is Surovina from our city in Maribor, and they've got also many different partners in this consortium. So just quickly about these activities, we're using the waste of the plastic bottle, and we are looking for the new results with a different kind of activities, as you see, from the waste producer to recycler to end user, and also on the end, we would like to make the digital passports for the materials. That is the new in the Slovenia. We are the first part of this kind of the research, and we will use for this digital passport of the secondary raw materials, or the just for the beginning, not just for the raw materials on the beginning, to the secondary raw materials with blockchain technologies. And the title about the activities, as you see, in one side we've got the raw materials. We have three different, and then we have the production is here. also 2 different companies. And then we have to have also the waste collections. At the same time, we are doing also the research for the beginning, which kind of the waste collection we got from different delivers and also for different buyers. So we have to manage then this sorting of the waste preparation. On the end, we would like to make the chemical and enzymatic depolymerization of the waste. And of course, this is the first demo pilot in Slovenia. And as we talk about this, we will be glad to make the connection for the future in different collaboration, also to the next step for this, not just for this kind of plastic about, if we're talking about the bottles, but also to others kind of the plastic, also microplastic, which is very important for the blue economy. So very shortly from this, for this part, thank you for your attention. And of course, I will be glad to make some conversation with you. If you have some questions, I will be with you, and also you can write me on my emails, and we will answer you and make the connection in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dragica. Any questions or comments from the audience?
Yes, may I? Alex Namus.
Yes, of course.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Dragica, for your nice presentation. My question goes a little bit in line with what you just mentioned at the end on the plastics and microplastics. Namely, you have in Slovenia one of the actually very proliferous global small company startup that is dealing with the microplastics filters, but you don't seem to mention or include this company in your activities that are certainly contributing to, you know, circular economy. So this company actually even got a contract with the European Commission, with JRC, to do a report on the microplastics in the seas and in the oceans. But it seems like, despite coming from Slovenia, it is not very much representing part of your activity that goes very much in the same line. So if you could just comment on this. Many thanks.
Yes, yes, thank you very much for your comment. First of all, could you tell me which kind of the startups do you mean? Because I know many which are working already on this part of the technologies and solutions.
Yes,
Hello?
actually, well, yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, Alex.
Okay, yeah. Yes, actually, well, it's the company called Planet Care, and it's actually later in the agenda today. So I'm talking about this particular company.
But first of all, I would have to give you the answer. This project is under the Ministry of the Economy, Development and Technology. And you know, the consortium was in this part, as you see, about the members. And plastic waste are very brightly, you know, different waste we've got. And one of these first step in Slovenia now with the demo pilot is under this part of the plastic bottles. You know, the plastic bottles are also in different colors. And for different colors, we have to use different activities and also technologies. And for this first project, as demo pilot, we've got only the bottles without colors. That means the normal bottles, because we have to manage in the future also the new research, how we can find a solution for the colors bottles, for example, from blue, red, and so on, because it's not the same technology, how we can manage with the new solutions. Of course, Alex, we will make the connection with your proposal company, of course, and I will be glad if they will be active also in Slovenia as well.
Thank you, Dragica and Aleš. And we have another comment from Mr. Brica, and then I think another one.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Once again, thank you for this, I believe, very needed approach from the business sector and research sector, which I would like to, of course, all remind that you are addressing now one of the priority issues for the measures in Adriatic Ionian region to reduce pressure and impacts for plastic, not just in all, let's say, scales, macro, meso, and microplastic. This is recognizes the huge problem, and priority actions are needed to reduce pressure and impacts on common and shared coast and sea. On the other hand, this is business opportunity. And now it's up of the management how to organize the approach to, let's say, deliver the results to reduce pressure and impacts. And this is, I believe, huge challenge, huge opportunity to really, with the knowledge which is somehow here. I still remember the very first, very also concrete contribution of Slovenian institution leading the project, the Fish Gear. Chemical Institute was let's say, coordinator of this consortium, which first recognized the need to react to address the microplastic in the European seas. And now we are, let's say, 10 years after. And I'm really expecting ambitious and concrete actions from the research and business sector to let's say, recognize that here is the future. And here are expectations of the European Commission, also mentioning the last call for the Green Deal implementation for the last week. Here are huge potential for actions. And I'm kindly inviting you to really be ambitious and to really do all the best with the knowledge you somehow collected during this, let's say, period. Thank you.
Thank you. And I think we have another comment from Goras.
Yes, of course. Thank you, Simona. Aleš, thank you again for a valuable comment. And just as I already said before, your comment, and this is precisely why we kindly invited Planet Care and Mr. Krujan to join and present on this event. Also, his initiative and his solutions. Why I'm saying precisely this? Because I believe it has to be heard that there still lie potentials that we improve in the future, and that such situations are overcome. Why? Once again, why? Because I believe that this is the right region, as you see, and also Mr. Britzel before mentioned. This is one of the key flagships in this area. And the second one, which is even more important than you and I both know, is that such cases are highly contributing for the right timing for our EDP for the S4. So again, thank you for your comment, and I hope Mr. Krujan, who will join us later after the break with his presentation, will give valuable inputs how to and present this project.
Thank you, everyone. Any other comments? Dragica, did you want to add anything, or are we okay?
Yes, Yes. Thank you very much for all comments. I'm glad because I know Mr. Karshan very well. Why he is not with our project is very difficult to say because the consortium was established.
Dragica, you seem to have a very bad connection. So
Sorry?
just kindly write it. You seem to have a bad connection.
Hello.
Okay. So just write your comment in the chat box, please.
Yes, I hear you.
Okay. Thank you. So we're actually just 1 minute behind. So I'm inviting you all on a 20-minute break. We will reconvene at 12:30. But before we leave, I have an invitation for all the participants and listeners. During the break and till the end of today's session, think about the themes for next sessions and put them in the chat box. So what would you like to hear next time? What kind of either pillars or other themes you would like to discuss and have presented? Thank you and see you at 12:30.
Thanks.
Hello, are we back? Can we proceed? So, right now I would like to introduce you to Strategic Research and Innovation Partnership for Sustainable Food Production, and which will be presented, especially their areas also in the blue growth sector, by Mrs. Tatiana Zagorc. She's sitting next to me, and she's coming from Chamber of Commerce of Slovenia. And I will share my screen.
Dear all, thank you for the invitation. It was quite honored to be selected to be your presenter today. I know that on the other side there are some of our colleagues in Serbia and so on who works with us on other projects. So I feel almost like knew you know, although I'm first time within your coordination. Yes, I will talk about Strategic Research and Innovation Partnership for Sustainable Food Production. I'm coming from Chamber of Commerce and Industry of Slovenia. Particularly, we work in the frame of Chamber of Agriculture and Food Enterprises. We are the only one who present food enterprises. We are representative, but we also work in the agricultural field. So we know that this is very important to have the whole chain, food production chain, around your table. This is the only way that you achieve something. Of course, we unite, connect, and represent our companies. We are deep in their issues, so we really know what is going on. Our team is consistent out of 17 experts. So we are, regarding the team, we are one of the biggest teams in at the Chamber of Commerce and Industry. We take care for 220 members. So actually, this is a quite small number, one would say, but you know, food production is quite diverse. So each sector needs individual approach. And this was one of the advantages to take over the coordination of strategic and research innovation partnership, because we were already present in all sectors. We knew all partners, so it was quite easy to start. Although at the beginning of this partnership, we say one thing, that we will talk about positive approaches, because you know, partners in the food production chain don't have always the same approach or goals. Of course, we didn't want to bring these challenges also in the this partnership. So it starts to work also with the knowledge side with institutes and all universities which are present in Slovenia. So we started to build at that time quite dynamic network of researchers, professors on one side, and of course companies and individuals in companies on other side. Of course, within this partnership, we focus on improvement and innovation. So these are our goals, because all other aspects are covered in other partnerships or with, around the table when we are sitting there as a Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Of course, we all have to work toward greater competitiveness and growth of our sector, which is one of the biggest, or in some point of views, also the biggest in Europe. So it is quite important to track this, what is going on EU side or even on global side. Within the Strategic Research and Innovation Partnership Food, we of course share some common priorities, which is digitalization, human resource development, and internationalization. So this is these are issues that are basically common to all strategic research and innovation partnerships. Of course, we try to bring aspects on the table which are important for our sector. Within the partnership, we put forward 5 sectors or they chains, so their production chains: dairy, meat, grains, fruit, and beer chain, which is quite interesting to be here named as that, but they are quite well organized. They possess their own institute, so therefore we said, okay, you can be the 5th value chain where we will work on. What is new from this year? We establish a vertical value chain, which is quite independent within our partnership. This is called vertical value chain, new food technologies. I have to stress here that these are young guys who come with a great proposal. They will build a kind of platform for innovation and new technologies in the food chain. So they are focusing on smaller companies which are quite adaptable. They are quite quick when one concerns challenges in the food technologies. So we are really happy to have them on board. They come out of one of our products, which is called Ecotrophelia Europe, and they won last year. And of course, also with their work, they prove that they don't only focus on the words, but also on the work and results. And the final thing within this scheme, which is really important, we are proud of it, that during this years of our work, we, according to all talks and see what is necessary in our sector, see that the sensory evaluation hub is very important. So we started to work very heavily with all our resources on sensory analysis. So we are talking to all researchers, faculties, institutes, they who or which work on sensory analysis. Of course, our products, when they are processed and being prepared for consumer, you already have to know what consumer will take or what consumer needs. So sensory evaluation of the product also in this very early starting phases is very important. And sensory hubs or infrastructure is not very well organized in Slovenia. Everybody is doing something, so we try really to do a hub where we will know who is doing what and what equipment they have. We also plan to add some additional equipment to that kind of mobile hub. So we are really working on that. So this is our structure, how we work with our members, and expect that the results are really, you know, we want to come with better products on the shelves, to better know our consumer, and of course to organize our food production chain in a more optimized way. There's a lot of struggles within the chain, you know, the farmers on one side, the food processing companies on the other side, but we wanted to build this bridge with contracts and so on, and to put the good ones in first position. What is also interesting for this partnership, all representatives organizations are part of it. As I said, we as a Chamber of Commerce and Industry, then Cooperatives Union and Chamber of Agriculture and Forestry of Slovenia, and they represent farmers. We have quite some innovative farmers, and it's good to have them on board. As I said, universities, research institutions, these are huge institutions, but you know there is always a department who is being in first position to cooperate also with our partnership, and also some smaller institutions who work in the field of food. I already mentioned once ecotrophalia. Of course, we have to work on human resources, and it's good to start very early. Some sectors already start in kindergarten, but actually what I have to show you that we start at the moment with the students. We work them already together with them for the last 12 years. And about 200 students were already involved in ecotrophalia competition, where they really have to put forward their knowledge, their cooperation capabilities, and of course also ideas in the field of food productions. We gave them over 23,000 euro of money prizes. This is also one thing, but the most important thing for them is, I think, to go on European level of competition, and of course also to achieve some awards there. Although we are a very small country, we are quite successful until now also on the European level. With this, it's I know that everybody knows that we are supporting creativity, technical skills, professional skills, of course also soft skills of this cooperation among students. We encourage them to build teams from different faculties, not only from the food processing point of view, but also economic science and some other marketing faculties, so that they bring all knowledge which is important to place a product on a shelf. These are just products which were developed from zero to this what you see by students. So they have to take care of every aspect of food production. Also talking about packaging material, which is quite important for food, and the proper knowing of legislation, so the labeling, which is quite important for our food products. We are also national contact point in AT Food. So we are taking part very actively to promote innovations across the our food value chain. So I have to say that we are really boosting with these actions also the ability of innovations in our food sectors. This was quite new for us to work on such a level, but I think that we did quite good job with the help of AT Food Hub. So I mentioned 17 people on board. We are Of course, our first mission is to take care for our members, to take care for strategic and innovation platform, but we are gaining our knowledge in different projects, which are all in connection to food production, innovation, and also not so narrow, but also we are working on energy efficiency, circular economics, and so on. So these are all aspects which are important for us. This is maybe not, this presentation was not so focused on really this blue growth as your partnership is talking about, but being quite continental, you will understand that, of course, the knowledge we are gaining on continental side, we will also use it on when we are talking about marine. As we are checking about focus area in this blue growth, biotechnology is very close to us. Of course, coastal and maritime tourism, very important. Aquaculture, when we are talking about producing seafood, and renewable energy, which is also important source of energy for us. When we were thinking about what our bigger institutions are working, of course, we cannot go passing through FAO Blue Growth initiative. So these are all basics for work. But as I said, not being in focus every day. So this was very shortly from my side, and probably if there will be some comments, questions, I'm here.
Thank you, Tatiana. Actually, we already have a question. Where does marine food production come into the Slovenian value chains?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, this is, of course, the proper question. Actually, we have one of our biggest members is a company called De La Maris, and of course, their program is focused on marine food. Unfortunately, they don't work so much on domestic seafood production. They mainly import, but I think that we could encourage them to build these smaller partnerships, like already did this year, but on the field of fishes from rivers, so sweet waters products, which was built, so cooperation with one smaller cooperatives and one of our biggest companies. So there is not a lot. Of course, aquaculture is quite important for some smaller cooperatives and companies which are being placed near the coast. But they are not our members yet. But in the future, maybe we will also focus on them.
Thank you, Tatiana. Is there another question maybe from the audience or any comments? No? Okay. So we will stop sharing the screen. And now we have the next presenter, which is Rudy Painter. He is the director of Center Factories of the Future from Jožef Stefan Institute in Slovenia, and he will present the Panoramid project. So Rudy, the floor is yours. We see the presentation. We just okay. We hear you now.
You see the presentation?
Yes, we see the presentation.
Okay. I'm very welcome to all of you which are present online. And well, Simona, thank you for inviting me. I will present Panoramid project, and especially Panoramid innovation. And as you know, that Interreg Mediterranean has 4 axes, and we are active in the 4th priority axis, and this is a panoramic project. And we have within the Mediterranean project, we have moderate projects, horizontal projects, and in governance axis, we have platform projects. Let me show you the facts. With Panoramet is a governance platform that supports the processes of strengthening and developing multilateral cooperation frameworks in the Mediterranean region for joint responses to common challenges and opportunities with 3 strategic themes. One is coastal maritime sustainable tourism, and then is maritime surveillance, and the third one is innovation. In the project there we have 21 partners from 12 European countries, and the project is from July till April 22, and the total budget allocation is 23 million. And also we have associations, and one of them is also those guys which were presented on before me, CPMR, EUSAIR, and so on. We have our job is to do to develop the strategic team innovation, and this we are doing with the Generalitat of the Catalan government, and Institute Joseph Stefan. The Catalan government is the leading partner. And the main question we have at Work Package Innovation was how can public administration promote the application of blue biotechnologies to tackle mad complex social challenges in innovative ways that are effective, have impact, and they are sustainable. So that was quite a hard work, because it was a technology, and it was not economic sector. It is the base technology for blue bioeconomy. And we said our answers were that we need systematic innovations beyond the technological dimensions, focused on socio-technical system transformation. And also we recognize we need systemic approaches, and also we need new governance models for responsible research and innovation that integrate public engagement, gender equality, science education, open access science and ethics to tackle societal challenges, those SDGs declared in United Nations, in more effective ways. So we have a wish to address the whole blue biotechnology value chain, from blue sky research to marketing, and we see that small and medium enterprises play a significant role, and they bridge the gap between the public research and commercialization of products and services, many realized by multinational companies. And this is an overall view of our work package with activities. Well, I will explain this in the next slide. What is the conceptual framework we have? It is we started from opportunities, blue bioeconomy opportunities in Mediterranean, and we say that for next we need participative governance, supporting technology, which is blue biotechnology, and also business models using this technology, and which are addressing the societal challenges. And what we want to do is to make societal value, so social value and environmental value and economic value. And what does it mean? That we you will have sustainable and systemic change. So inputs we have, first of all, we have in expert gaps analysis. We joined many experts and we have 2 meetings in Ljubljana and Brussels. Then we studied relevant EU documents about the subject. And then we experts define the projects which are good cases. Then we have relevant EU national programs and projects. Then we made a metrics of this social changes and supporting mechanisms. And we divide it into policy drivers, legislation, innovation systems and infrastructure, access financing, challenging business models, education and training, and all these we identified gaps which are present, and then we were trying to get answers and verify them with proposals, and we try to verify once again with experts and partners. And then we have also Innovation Camp in Barcelona, where we work on all these inputs, and we define the terms of reference for the strategic projects. And also then when we have finished this, then we also made a key policy paper where are the policy recommendations for the member states and partners in the project. So then I was telling about the terms of reference and for innovation, and main objectives in the strategic projects were that we would like to enhance the capacity to design and implement multi-level innovation policies and actions for the blue bioeconomy. And we would like to strengthening of the blue bioeconomy innovation ecosystem in Mediterranean. And we identified two projects. One is a focus more on promoting the use of the blue biotechnologies to address the SDGs and the INDIMET, and on promoting new value chains and business opportunities. So it's more technologically focused. And the second is focus on promoting the articulation of the collaboration of the quadruple helix sectors to address the SDGs, INDIMET, and on improving the governance of innovation policies to increase the coherence among multi-level programs. So this is more politically oriented. And a brief more about this. First one, coordinated capacity buildings in blue bioeconomy subfields and triggering inter-regional innovation along blue biotechnology value chains. In strategic project 2, we have the enhancement of the capacity to design and implement multi-level innovation policies and actions for the blue bioeconomy. And the second is the strengthening of the blue bioeconomy innovation ecosystem. And from those, we have 2 strategic projects. One is Be Blue, and the second is Blue Biomed. Both involve a total of 21 partner organizations from the 9 European Mediterranean countries, and financial investments of 3 million euros, which in details is in REF and ATK and IPE funds. These partnerships will work to promote the smart specialization of the Mediterranean area and in the blue bioeconomy. Have details on the following connection. What are interesting takeaways, maybe also suitable and useful for Adrian countries. And one, of course, is gaps and opportunity report, I think, which is very general, and in which you can find also the troubles and maybe some answers or questions also for your area. And one is also the good document, participatory governance for the development of the blue bioeconomy in the Mediterranean region, and one document about the clusters, how they can contribute to the social and environment challenges with the creation of shared value. And of course, what is also very good structured document is the key policy paper on innovation in Mediterranean. So what comes next within the project? Will be already made key policy paper on innovation in Mediterranean, and it was already accepted by partners and joint NJS. And we are now preparing strategic project follow-up. So we will work together with the strategic projects, and we will help them to reach the goals and set the KPIs. And then we will also build the thematic working groups on innovation, so-called MET strategic talks. So and this will be also a kind of preparing for the next EU perspective. So that is everything from my side. If there is any questions, so please.
Thank you, Rudy. Is there any questions or comments from the floor? If yes, one we have here in the room, and one just came. So please.
Thank you very much for this, I would say, very concrete contribution to, let's say, implementation of existing processes, where we are with, also in the center of this European macro-regional strategy for Adriatic and Ionian, where these issues and blue biomed activities or project and activities are very much into the center of our, let's say, care, how to bring this knowledge, how to bring those results to decision makers for smart and wise decisions. For what? For the implementation of the now, let's say, targets of the Green Deal in the region. This is something what's extremely needed for quite a long time because of the fragmented approach on all levels. And the science and research was one part of this fragmented also actors. And now with this, we are hoping that we will get, as you said, identified gaps and opportunities and participatory approach for, let's say, governance in shared eco-region for sustainable future. This is nice wording. This is wish. This is at least for 20 years, let's say, story which we are listening. But now it's time to act and time to deliver and to implement. And we are really looking very forward, and I'm now talking on behalf of all Adriatic Union countries, putting some, I would say, also hope on our pillar of quality of environment to show the way. How is this possible to enhance the quality of environment? And your contribution is extremely valuable and needed. I kindly ask you also to really work and use our results, which are at least 5 years process behind this, that we already identified priority projects for Adriatic Ionian countries, so-called flagship projects, adopted or agreed among countries, also by governing board. So this is new fact. This is new reality. This is agreement about really very important issues which are of transboundary interest for all Adriatic Union countries, and your, let's say, knowledge will help definitely to enhance this governance. This is what it's very much expected from the bottom-up approach, local and national governments, and transboundary cooperation among them for real implementation of priority issues, and on the other side, from European Commission. You know, the all DGs are very much looking forward to get consensus among themselves for priority issues in the region. Fishery, transport, energy, tourism, they're trying to get consensus about priority issues in the region, very specific. So with this, I would kindly ask you to make clear link with our, let's say, results of Adriatic Union strategy, very much with also environmental quality, which try from early beginning to satisfy or to complementary work with the blue growth, connectivity and sustainable tourism. And this is the state of the art. By the way, I was a researcher, and I know how difficult is this and how much you have to invest to find the consensus, how to go forward with different stakeholders and to use, let's say, scientific background not to harm the substance, as in this case is shared ecosystem. Thank you.
What can I say about this? It's that thank you very much for your comments and reply. I would like to say that I do not have enough knowledge about the strategy you are telling me about, the Adrian strategy. But I think it's in general that from the science point of view, we are very optimistic. But when it comes to the political waters, then sometimes it's a discussion much harder, because it is just the consensus between countries is sometimes very hard to achieve. On a scientific level, it's not a problem, but it's you use this technology, the other technology, and then you make a solution. But whether then it is suitable politically for all the countries, it's another story. And we will try to do our best to also promote our way of finding and then solving things. And we will try to make these political papers, key recommendations, as much open as they can be, much suitable for the countries. They will put this in the policy they are making for this field. And normally this Panoramate, which has solutions also for the tourism, for the surveillance, and it is essential also for Adrian. I think it's the same coast at the end. So that is my answer. So that well, sometimes also the science cannot give all the answers, but sometimes there must be a political issue to help the science to maybe to just make the answers not so strict, but a little bit rounded.
Okay, thank you, Rudy, very much. If there will be some other questions, I will surely let you know. And now, last but definitely not least, Dr. Andrej Kržan from Slovenia will present, as you already heard earlier, Planet Care Blue S3 with an SME perspective. So, Andrej, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much. First of all, I would like to thank the organizers for giving me the opportunity to talk, to address you, and to tell something about our story. Maybe I'll start taking advantage of a comment from this morning by Mr. Britzel. You mentioned the Fish Gear project 10 years ago. I was coordinating that project, and now it's 10 years later, and this is one part of the story where we are now. So I'm here as chief scientist of a SME, of a startup company called Planet Care. And maybe you know, but maybe you do not know, that every time you wash your clothes, you release thousands, millions of fibers into the water system. It's just the same way as when you dry clothes, you have to clean the fibers away, and you see them, you have them in your hands. When you wash clothes, you never see them, they go out with the water. And we find these fibers all around the world. When researchers look for microplastics, they will find fibers everywhere. I think in the Mariana Trench, when they looked at crustaceans, they found fibers, and that's the deepest part of the ocean, 11 kilometers deep. They found fibers in every crab they looked at. Of course, more than 60% of our clothes are today made of artificial materials, which is another name for plastics, polyesters, and so on. So these are, of course, a major contribution to microplastics. This is the issue that we're dealing with. We want to stop this type of pollution. So we're trying to stop microfibers. And our approach is that we should stop them at the most convenient point. We think this is the washing machine. The washing machine produces all of these fibers and lets them out. Not that the washing machine is the cause, but it's a very convenient choke point where to stop the fibers. We believe filtering technology is the answer, and we are convinced that in the future, every washing machine will have a filter to stop this type of pollution. This is a segment of microplastic pollution that we know where it's coming from, we know the source, we know how to stop it, and we can stop it, and we will stop it. That's our approach. It's similar, let's say, to catalytic converters in cars. You know, a car does not need the converter to function, just like a washing machine does not need a filter to function. But we still agree that we will have catalytic converters, and the same will probably happen with the filters. Our approach is that our solutions have to be efficient, practical, and affordable. Only through that can we actually achieve impact. And for us, impact is every filter installed, every one filter installed somewhere adds to the impact. So that's our mission. Our solution is a filter. This is physical filtration. And we're targeting pretty much every type of washing machine. So domestic, commercial, industrial, every type new and existing. This covers B2C as well as B2B work and customers. And where we are right now, we actually are selling from, let's say, late last year. We're actually selling our external retrofit filter, which is shown in the picture there and on the washing machine. It's an external filter that goes onto any type of domestic washing machine. Then we have a filter that's larger capacity, so higher capacity for commercial machines, such as found in laundries. There's also a picture there. We have a number of these filters in test around the world. And our future goes also into a built-in filter that will be integrated into a washing machine, a domestic washing machine. So when you will be buying in the future a washing machine, it will come with a filter. So we're working on that. And also industrial filters for the textile industry. The textile industry by itself has a number of steps in their process where fibers are released and they largely find their way also into the environment. I won't go into more details about this. Perhaps, yes, that we're trying to have a overall sustainable product. Not only do we stop pollution, we're also trying to make the product sustainable in its entirety. So part of this is having cartridges, because our filters are always done in such a way that we have a housing and a cartridge, and this is an exchangeable cartridge. We have a return and reuse system for the cartridge, so we collect cartridges back. We refurbish them, and that means that approximately 95% of the cartridge is reused. This is plastic not going into the waste, but actually being reused and sent out to the customer again, whereas 5% is waste that we will recycle. We're collecting right now, but we will recycle. In the next stage, we're also planning to use recycled plastics. So we're trying to make a product that fits all of these points. We're trying to be as active as we can. This is a niche that we're largely creating. So we're running, or we were running around the world like crazy until Corona, actually, or COVID hit us. And I'll just give a few views here. We're trying to actually engage with any partner that shares our interests and our sort of mission and goals. This covers NGOs, academic institutions, companies. We've been invited by the UN, by OECD. We work with governments. So we're trying to be as open as we can, which of course is a lot of work as well, I have to say. Also media, of course, and our customers. So maybe here just to mention what we're looking at. So we're in Paris at Change Now. We have the Special Envoy for Oceans from the UN, Mr. Peter Thompson there, happily showing our box with the filter. Down there, our CEO, Ms. Moitza Zupan, talking with the State Secretary of France, Ms. Brune Poisson. Actually, by the way, France took us as a case study to go forward with their legislation that has passed and requires to have fiber filters on all new domestic and commercial washing machines, starting with 1st of January 2025. So this was the first such case, and France has announced that they want to push this ahead during their presidency. We've been shown by CNN online, on TV, let's say at the Health Summit in Amsterdam and so on. So we're trying to hit and talk with anybody we can actually reach. We have more than 500 customers by now, so we're trying to go ahead. I would like to comment on the topic of yesterday's and today's discussion. One is S3 and the other blue bills. From our perspective, from our experience, which is, in fact, what is the point for SMEs to be involved, what kind of support we can get, and how we relate to the EDP was mentioned yesterday in pretty much every presentation. SMEs and startups are, in fact, EDP in practice. So in Slovenia, we have a limitation that we will not include formally and not a special sort of emphasis in the S3 or S4 process or the whole initiative. But this should not be actually a limitation. I think this is something that we've discussed about more than a year ago, I would say. We understand it, and I think we need to overcome this. Then in the strategic research innovation partnerships, and I'm actually even involved in one, I think we need to give a little bit of emphasis on working with SMEs and startups in the sense that they differ somewhat from larger companies and are not exactly in the same position. And I think this should be acknowledged. And we should look I think also at how many SMEs we have involved as members, how they are active in polls, and of course, what kind of funding and results they get. I think for this, it's important actually to have national funds. As was mentioned, let's say by the contribution from Northern Macedonia, I believe. I think you showed a very good result because you had a fund targeting SMEs, and I think that's possibly what to think about. I would also comment on the cooperation with research institutions. Our research institutions are becoming more oriented. We've heard about contract research as well. I think in dealing with SMEs or startups, I think we should acknowledge again that these are small companies. We, for example, employ a few people. We're 6 people altogether, and it's not 6 FTEs. Okay, so the capacity there for funding, for work is different than in larger companies. And I think research institutions should have some sort of a mechanism to deal with that. Not that it's their responsibility, but a mechanism such as, for example, vouchers, research vouchers or something like that is very useful, I believe. I don't want to stay with the negative because we've had some very, very good cooperations and results. I would point out our work with the JRC. We've been invited by the JRC to be part of the European Maritime Day in Lisbon last year, and we had a presentation there. We've been part of the European Week of Regions and Cities in the workshop or session on blue growth, where we've presented, and we will do so this year as well. It will be virtual. There will be a workshop organized by the JRC at this European Regions and Cities Week. So you have the opportunity to register there. We've conducted a study, in fact, for the JRC, and we're very proud of that, on the potentials of microplastics within the S3 system. And if I just in one sentence say what we've found out, or what we've sort of come up with, is that microplastics is a very new area or challenge, and it's relatively narrow, so it's not specifically mentioned in the S3 programs, but that should not be a limitation to work on this, and there should be work done on this within the S3 system, especially as it moves towards solutions and business opportunities. That's what S3 is actually for, to build that up. And I think this is a great opportunity. We've been also very lucky to be selected for a European Innovation Council grant, in which we will, or project actually, for 2 years, in which we will develop the filter for integration into washing machines. So things are going on, and we're very grateful for this support. I'm looking forward to the EU Green Deal call that just came, and I see great potential, of course, under the zero pollution, toxic free environments topic. So with that, I will finish, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Andrei. I think this was a very good choice to be the last presentation. So I'm opening the floor for any comments. Here we have the first one. Go ahead.
From my side?
Yes.
Okay.
You're the first one that said it.
Okay, I just thought, okay, perhaps it would be better to be the last one, but okay. To leave the floor there again. Thank you. Okay, but I have to comment because not only because of, as I mentioned before, we invited Mr. Krujan to come here and to present his project, but also for your comments that you gave at the end of your presentation. I would say that okay, you mentioned you were all the time together with us, with building and helping building our smart specialization strategy as well, being involved and so on. Despite that, you were faced with problems when it comes to the reality, and that's the main message. I would say that's a very, very good message and point he raised out to all of us, to be, when it comes on the ground, to be really concrete and with the solutions. Why I am saying this is, you also mentioned the concrete example support for the SMEs. You know that we, for SRIPs, when SRIPs were built, we insisted that it has to be some proportion between the big and not only the small ones, the small firms, not only the big ones, but it has to be a proportionate, because both of them can gain from the smaller gain from the bigger, and the bigger gain from the smaller, because the smaller are more flexible, more active, faster, and so on than the big ones. Yet, okay, the reality is how it is, and this is also why we invited you, that we hear from those of you who are really on the ground dealing with concrete stuff, your suggestions. As far as the SME support is, and the support from the SRIPs to the SMEs, I would say that in the next period, from looking from Slovenian side and from our side, from the cohesion funds, it will be certainly, let's say, enlarged, but not. I'm not happy only with this word enlarged, but it has to be more focused. The support for the SMEs has to be more focused for such kind of support like your project is. The support which brings innovation, which brings added value in the future and so on, and has the potential on the market. The one more comment is that I would say, and it was very, very good remark from your side. You said, okay, Slovenia doesn't have blue growth in our smart specialization strategy. Yes, that's correct. We had a lot of discussions, you also mentioned it, and we said, okay, perhaps not. But if we don't have blue growth, we have other options. I mean, if we have blue growth in the smart specialization or not, that doesn't prevent us, or not prevent it, that doesn't I don't know, block us to support that kind of project as your is. You mentioned you are now at 95% of the only 5% of waste. You want to become zero waste. So you solve the problem, the huge work problem with your project, and then you are aware also that your product has to be circular. And you perfectly fit into the circular economy. So if we have blue growth or not, I mean, you fit in and that was probably also what you were saying, or in the materials, new materials and so on. So thank you really for. I'm really happy also for the comments that you gave, and we'll take it into consideration. And I think that we all, the policy makers, we all have to take into our heads and into our memory the messages that you gave us. Thank you.
Thank you, Boris. Any other comments from anyone? Well, again,
I may just say, I think blue growth could be like a horizontal stream that goes through all the research innovation partnerships. It could be defined as that and taken into account, really.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess we're 2 minutes behind schedule. I have 2 sentences of closing arguments, and I think Goras has a few more sentences of closing arguments. But for me, the takeaways today is how important the capitalization and internationalization is. further invitation of projects to share, because that will enable us to capitalize. And also with projects shared, that is a part of the entrepreneurial discovery process. So this is a way to work towards that also. Just a formality, conclusions will be sent to you, and then we will also invite you again to consider which kind of future teams we could have. And
together with presentations, no?
Of course,
Yeah.
together with presentations that will be online, I'm assuming. And can ladies go first?
Of course.
Please?
Yeah, someday. Okay. Thank you. I'm happy Simona did the content side of the conclusion of the day. I would say just I would like to thank you all to all presenters and also to all participants of this event. We are, I can say it now, we are happy we organize it, despite the fact that the event of such nature would be more productive and certainly more interactive and vibrant, done in a way that we were used to without epidemic or without COVID issue. However, as I said, we are satisfied, and we do hope that also you you are satisfied, the participants, and that it met the expectations that we asked you at the beginning, and above all, that we'll keep on the path we all together agreed to, so that we have to work more closer together. At the end, I would like from my side to thank Miss Andrea Yerina first to join us and to allow us to have and to host us in the during our presidency this event, the EUSAIR, from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs Hour and the National Coordinator of the EUSAIR. Then secondly, I would like to ask to thank Ms. Stasha Misic, with whom we started this initiative for this event exactly, and she helped a lot also from the content side and organizational, of course. And that last but not least, I would say sincere thanks. I would like to really sincerely thank Ms. Simona Knežević-Vernon, our moderator. She has been in the again the great challenge, but I believe we all agree that she really did it perfectly. With these words, with these thanks, I would say from my side that's all, and I just once again thank you all for the participation, contributions, and I hope that we will not, and I am sure that we will not end here. As I already mentioned, we have to keep going and keep believing in our project. Thank you.
And Mrs. Irina.
Thank you, Simona. Thank you, Gorazd. Dear friends, dear colleagues, this brings us to the end of this year's 5th Mediterranean Coast and Macro-Regional Strategies Week. In spite of the very difficult situation that we work in, challenged by the COVID-19, in spite of the fact that most of the events we had to have in this unphysical, a bit unhuman organizational setup, but in spite of that, almost 1,000 people in 2 weeks exchange their views, their best practices, their ideas from the Baltics to the Danube, Alpine, and the Adriatic Ionian, which is good, because also what we heard today and yesterday, there are so many ideas, so many resources, so much knowledge, so much goodwill. Only we need to talk to each other, to trust each other, and to work together in order that the region that we are living in, the Europe that we are living in is strong and resilient. But this can only be when it is green and smart. Thank you very much for all of you who contributed. In particular, I would like to thank to all my colleagues from the Slovenian administration. 2 weeks we spent in the same room. That was unique interministerial coordination that we actually experienced within the 2 weeks. Specific thanks goes to the Adriatic Ionian support facility point support assistance. Without our colleagues in the facility point, both in Ljubljana and Izola, we would never been able to actually have the Mediterranean coast and macro-regional strategies week, and we would never be able to grow within the 5 years and to grow into EU recognized events. So thank you very much, Stasha. She's the pillar with all her friends, and I wish all of you good luck. Let's join forces. Let us fight COVID. It's not going to be there for all the time, but we are going to stay here and cooperate and have a better Europe. Thank you very much for attending our Mediterranean Coast and Macro Regional Strategies Week.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all. Bye bye.